And good morning to you, Rebecca Sapak. Well, you're in a Chimswedro. I know that you enjoy the song. Just give me a text message that you did. All right? So good morning to you. And I wish you the best of the day. But in the meantime, though, we have to make sure we bring you all the stories on front, back pages of the various newspapers. Mamavi is here without our regular WhatsApp phone. Why?
I'm taking text messages today.
Okay.
Strictly text messages.
Why? Did I finish?
No.
Oh, I have to supply.
That's
it's not a problem.
I've had this for like 2 weeks now.
No, it's because that's...
but it is a problem now.
We're not persevering now.
Yeah, persevere.
Yeah, we're not persevering.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, though, we have to do the newspapers.
We
and
do.
How was your night, I have to ask you?
A very cold...
Yeah, it's been cold lately, over the last couple of weeks.
And it's extremely cold where I am. That's why I always come to work with
the vegetation is a bit better than those of us living outside.
It's fresh. Say it like that.
Charlie.
It hasn't been abused. Not yet.
One more motim is those who are in the forest.
Yes. So come and live there. It's nice in the forest.
Hopefully. When I get better in life, hopefully.
Really?
All right, so let's do the Daily Graphic. Yeah,
we'll do the Daily Graphic newspaper. Front page of the Graphic this day, Tuesday, August 29, 2017. Big promotions in police. 7 commissioners, 25 DCOPs. Also, SNIT interdicts ahead of MIS. This made huge headlines yesterday. Incredible. How can you not have a doctorate, but you're called a doctor and you get a big position and then you get huge salaries and then you work with huge organizations? How could that happen? But somebody told me yesterday that this is just a tip. I mean, this is one of many. But we'll get into the story a bit. Also, throw out, like a lot of people working in the public service.
That brings people. I
don't know. Oh. But the info was that there are a lot of people working in the public service and they don't have the qualifications that they boast of. Yeah. Throw out EC Chair Opoko Ajimai appeals to court. Also another story in the paper today. 470 megawatts power barge arrives. And then the promotions, the police personnel who've been promoted. If you know somebody in the police service, there's a possibility that he or she has been promoted, so you might want to check that out. But this story about SNIT's interdicting its ahead of MIS, story says the Social Security and National Insurance Trust has interdicted the head of its Management Information Systems division, doctor, and the doctor is in quotes because that's the thing. That's the information that came out yesterday, that doctorate could possibly be fake. Caleb Kweku Afaglo for using fake certificate to get his appointments. Dr. Afaglo's interdiction was recommended by the Economic and Organized Crime Office after painstaking investigations into his activities, which led to a huge financial loss to SNITs. During the investigations, Roland, Iyoko found out that Dr. Afaglo did not have a doctorate degree, as he claimed. Neither did he possess a master's degree nor a bachelor's degree. A source at Iyoko hinted that its officials started investigations into Dr. Afaglo's activities early this year when some aggrieved employees reported to them that since his employment, a lot of things had gone wrong, and so they believed he was a fake expert. So that's it, Charlie. Before joining SNITS, as a full-time member of staff, Dr. in quotes, Afaglo had worked on various projects as a consultant for SNITS, the National Pensions Regulatory Authority and PRA, the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, Charlie, big companies, where Roland wants to work ultimately, the Ghana Integrated Financial Management Information System, GIFMIS, and at MTN Ghana and Action Chapel International as the Data Services Supervising Engineer. So if he didn't have a first degree, he didn't have a second degree, and then he didn't have a doctorate, then how could he possibly work with all these organizations? Incredible.
No, he had them. He had the
incredible
to present.
But I got a very personal information on him yesterday, and the information did say that, well, he may not have the documentation, but he's pretty good at it. So maybe
he's pretty good at the job.
exactly.
Okay.
As in, he's got the skill.
Competent
He's got
to
the
do
skill.
He's got the skill.
That's what I heard. This story about throughout EC chair. Opoko Ajimai appeals to court. That story also here on page 16 in the Daily Graphic newspaper. Story says, Mr. Maxwell Opoko Ajimai, the lawyer who was sued by the chairperson of the Electoral Commission for professional misconduct, has asked the High Court to strike out the suits against him. He has, in the alternative, asked the court to grant an order of interlocutory injunction to restrain the lawyer for the EC, Mrs. Charlotte Osei, Mr. Thaddeus Sori, and other lawyers from his law firm from further defending her. Story continues. The motion on notice, which was filed on behalf of Mr. Opoko Ajimai by his counsel, Mr. J. Opoko J, will be moved on October 9, 2017. You might want to grab the paper and read the rest of the story there in the paper. But back page on the 470 megawatt power barge that has arrived to augment power supply, and it says named as Karadenes power ship Osman Khan. The power ship will start operating at the Tema port next month. The arrival of the ship follows a power purchase agreement between Car Power Ship Ghana Limited and the Electricity Company of Ghana that requires owners of the power ship to provide some 450 megawatts capacity to directly feed into the national grid for 10 years, Roland. Road Minister's inspection tour 10 SAR, also another story on the back page of the Daily Graphic. An inspection tour of the construction site of the tunnel linking East Legon to the Spintex Road by Minister of Roads and Highways, Mr. Kwesi Amwakwata, yesterday turned violent when the bodyguard of the minister was forced to fire warning shots to restore order. The bodyguard fired 2 gunshots into the air to control the rude and violent behavior of a heavy-duty equipment dealer and his workers who had occupied the road reservation area on the Spintex side, which is impeding construction works on the 15 million Ghana cedis second tunnel under the motorway. Details of that story also on the back page of the paper. Roland?
All right, so we have the Ghanaian Times. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times, we have the story exposed. Top SNET manager grabbed with fake qualifications. You may have been reading this from the Newsday yesterday, and this morning Mama V also giving you a lot more gist as it is. President promotes 38 top police officers. Great. And freight forwarders demonstrate against paperless port system. I thought we're being told this is a good system. So maybe they won't get the time to be doing Guru Boy ship. So we'll see how it goes. All right. But fake soldier has been grabbed by the police, we're told. It's a picture there of another person who doesn't seem to have the status that he should be having, but has it. Dressed in military camouflage. He calls himself Lawrence Nana Bentil, apparently. And danger looms, that's on the back page of the Ghanaian Times. Danger looms at Malam Market. And apparently, there's a looming health crisis at the Malam Market in Accra, as a rubbish dump located behind the market has been turned into a landfill site, apparently. The site, almost 4 times a football pitch, is just 20 meters from the southern exit of the market, prompting fears of outbreak of diseases as water flows, or what the story should say, as liquid leaches from the site into the market. Let's see how that goes. Let's see how that goes, because this is a state as it should be. I remember I used to be an environmental reporter and used to look at some of those. On the back page, death trap at Koli Lagoon. The road close to the Koli Lagoon and the Bukom Boxing Arena in Accra is gradually becoming a death trap for residents and drivers who use it. And this is due to total destruction of the railings on the side of the road and also on the sidewalks. How is that a death trap? Okay, the railings. All right. So those are the stories we have. Let's quickly look at the Daily Guide newspaper. It has on the front page, Yoko probes IT boss. And so we're talking the $72 million SNIT scandal for fake degrees. We also have Black Blay. I wanted to say Black Eyed Peas. Blay eyes 2020 MPP victory. He is the acting chairman of the MPP, wants to contest for the substantive chairmanship position. It's a no-go area for those who want to. That is if they want to. But we'll see how that goes. So we have other people who want to contest as well. I know one Alaji Short. Good morning to you, Alaji Short, wherever you are. Gunmen attack Siedu in Ketia. And then we have NDC guards members. Those are the stories we have. But let's look at this. Gunmen attacking Siedu in Ketia. Oh, looks very interesting. And apparently, Johnson Siedu in Ketia, a.k.a. General Mosquito, General Secretary of the opposition NDC, has reportedly been attacked by AK-47 wielding men on the road to his hometown Sekwa in the Tyne district of the Bonafa region. He was allegedly attacked near Suhum in the eastern region Monday afternoon. The government said to be numbering about 6 allegedly wielding the AK-47 assault rifles and other sophisticated weapons were wearing masks. They were said to be driving a Toyota Tundra with registration number GT66612 and reportedly accosted General Mosquito and other occupants of his vehicle and harassed them at Obretamaya village along the Accra-Kumasi highway. All right, we'll see how that goes. Mama, which one are you looking
I've got the Finder.
The Finder.
Yeah, the Finder newspaper. And front page of the Finder, fast-track formation of boards. Council of Labour urges governments. Government says it's almost done. Also, police, in the police service, 7 promoted COPs, 31 DCOPs. That story in the graphic also here in the Finder. Glow out with 4 products. Kwabing miners drowned, according to an autopsy report. That story on page 4. Let's get into a bit of the details right here. It says, your authoritative, the Finder can today reveal that preliminary investigations into the deaths of the 4 suspected illegal miners indicates that the 4 were not murdered but drowned in the pits in which they were found. Residents of the area claimed they suspected that the men were killed by men from Operation Vanguard, dispatched to halt illegal mining operations across the country. Police sources told the Finder that autopsy results indicate that the 4 died from asphyxia, a condition that is caused by drowning. The sources further enumerated that the 4 may have panicked and hurriedly filed out of the track in which they were traveling on suspicion that they were being pursued and accidentally ended up in the pit. And according to the police sources, this is an exclusive. The incident happened around midnight. So the 4 might not have known there was a pit around. So this is an incident that made huge headlines, lots of talking points, and Operation Vanguard was dragged into it. Remember, from day one, they had denied even being around that area where these 4 people, died, and the suspicion was that they had been killed by members of Operation Vanguard. But now the Finder is reporting that an autopsy report is out, and they're getting confirmation that these 4 apparently drowned. So details of that story in the Finder newspaper, an exclusive story here in the Finder. This fast-track formation of boards, government's delay in constituting the boards of some state institutions is negatively affecting the productivity and damping the morale of workers in those institutions. The Accra Metro District Council of Labour of the Trade Union Congress has indicated. And then the council, Roland, has made an urgent call to government to fast-track the formation of these boards to cut the financial losses the nation is incurring and the delays it is causing businesses to make their investment decisions. But if you go on to read, the story will tell you how government says that it is almost done with the formation of the boards anyway. Okay. So we'll see how that goes. But details of that story in the Finder.
Please do the Daily Dispatch, the Daily Statesman for me, and then I'll do the Daily Dispatch.
Let's continue with the Daily Statesman newspaper, front page of the Daily Statesman. NPP won't let you down, John Boydu assures party members. We're on course to deliver. Who is saying that? You can check the details out on page 3 in the paper. Ghana Airports Company post strong financial performance. Also another headline in the paper. And on the back page, you'll catch pictures of the NPP Delegates Conference at Cape Coast over the weekend. If you missed it, you can get some nice pictures captured in the paper for you today. That's it for the Daily Statesman, Roland.
So we have the last paper before we go on to the online portals, and we have the Daily Dispatch newspaper. It has on the front page, President staffer angry over insult, mere apology not enough, we want more dismissal. The question he asks. More EIU analysis on Ghana. You have to see page 5 of the paper. And MPP and NDC MPs want president to sack minister for insult. We know the deputy minister used to come on the show though. Mr. Kwetu, good morning to you. Very good friend of mine though. Deputy Minister of Agriculture said to have said some negative things, but he has since apologized. I hope that he will be forgiven though. We should learn to forgive, please, Ghanaians. We'll see how that goes. We're told that MPP and NDC MPs want president to sack minister for insults. There was a whole press conference that was put together. Mama, it was a press conference, wasn't it?
Which one's that? Or,
on the Deputy Minister of Agriculture's comment.
I think it was it a...
Just a comment from
he had released a statement of apology. But the heat is on. The heat is on, really. And I don't know, when these things happen, can they just bow? Can he just bow? Because the heat is coming on really strong.
As a minister.
As a minister. If he feels he didn't speak well.
In Africa...
why is he apologizing in the first place? Is that because he realizes that the comments are offensive? Or
people are saying that it's offensive?
Yeah. I think he should just resign, move on. Just say that you didn't speak well, you didn't talk like a public office holder, and you are ashamed of the comments that you made, and so you know, to get everybody to realize that indeed you regret what you said, you're stepping aside. Because how are you going to relate to them again? Forget that you've apologized, but what you said it. But how could anybody speak like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, how could he? Yeah, okay. Let's read some messages. And I'm going to be restricting myself to text messaging only. Text messages only. I don't want any trouble. No wahala. You're done with the dispatch?
Yes, I'm done, Mama
Okay. So here's a text message. And you're asking me, Mama V, how can someone with fake certificates get a top job in Ghana? Because some of the human resource unit heads are sleeping on their job. Adams from Afram Plains. Well, Adam, sometimes it's not even the HR people sleeping on the job, eh? Sometimes just because you're coming from Abrochre and you've got some accents, be like that. And then you say you have this, you have that.
Charlie, talking about
if you're competing with somebody who's schooled in Ghana, you probably would not stand a chance. That's how it goes in some of these areas. It's
talking about that, can I start developing the accent?
Please don't. Just speak proper English.
I used to live in Elephant and Castle.
Yeah, where's that?
Orlando Mohobe. YouTube says Elephant and Castle.
Okay, more messages. This one says, I'm much inspired by your presentation. Okay, so Adam Salim, aka Governor, wants to meet you, Roland. He wants to know how. So where do you hang out?
T Havana in Tema. Monte Carlo. Let me mention the places for him. Monte Carlo in Tema.
Are they places you know, or these are places you hang out?
I know hangouts.
Masa, if you want to meet Roland, come and see me. Me, I'm here. Multi TV.
Charlie,
come to Multi TV in Kokomlemle, and I'll link you up.
Yeah,
sure, that's more like it. Because Charlie, he doesn't have a life beyond.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, this is not nice.
Let's do myjoyonline.com. Agrochemical dealers call on the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to deal with fake products. So agrochemical dealers have called on MOFA to set up and clamp down on dealers in fake and expired products to protect farmers and consumers. Details, just click on the story when you can. No arrest hours after gunmen set Opuegono Church Auditorium on fire. One of the stories that almost unbelievable. How could anybody do this? Police are yet to apprehend assailant who set the auditorium of the Believers' House of Worship ablaze following a land dispute between the church and the private developer. But why touch,
I have my own story to tell.
Touch the things
matters of land dispute
in the church? And it's not like a court
Normally,
has ordered
you
you.
remove your money from your pocket, your savings. You go and buy land. Then later, longer shootings.
We will spend a bit of time on this particular subject later on in our program. Let's move on though. Interdicted SNIT IT boss defends academic credentials. Oh, it's interesting. We'd like to read a bit of this because we've not heard from him. So this will be new. Please, can we just click on it and let's share a bit. In the meantime, Maulin Sefirioso, I see you're on me, but I will get back to you when I can. Thank you for the message that you've sent, though. You can send me a text message if you want to get in touch with us. Okay, here we go with the story. Embattled head of SNIT's Management Information Systems, Caleb Afaglo, has reportedly defended his academic credentials, insisting that he obtained his PhD certificate genuinely. Okay, that's the backstory. Let's go down. This is not, so quotes, and this should be coming from him reportedly. This is not my first job, so there's absolutely no truth in it, right? None whatsoever. My PhD university closed down in 2011. Check it out. How is it that, is that my fault? And how does that make the degree a fake one when I graduated in 2007, unquote? And this was reported by Star FM. And so this quote is coming from Mr. Afaglo reportedly, explaining in a Facebook conversation. And all the backstory right there for you on this story. This is not the last that we will see, really. So what school? What's the name of the school again? And why did it close in 2011?
Cincinnati University.
Oh,
University of Cincinnati.
Is that it? Okay. Well, once it is
but
not
I'm
necessarily
told that
on
where he had the PhD was an affiliate of the University of Cincinnati.
And then it closed.
In where people usually will say Ohio.
Oh, okay. And then it closed, yeah?
I'm told that where he attained the degree has closed down. It's possible. Well,
no, it is possible, yeah. But I was just going to say that once it is not on Ghana soil and it is in America, you can always get the facts. You know what I mean? It just takes you writing.
I went to the website
somewhere.
of University of Cincinnati. They had been established in the 1800s, around 1870 something. So they are around. Okay. But I'm told, I haven't verified myself, that where he got his doctoral certificate was from a university or a college that was affiliated to the University of Cincinnati, Ohio.
The British Council could always help with the details.
If you wrote to them, but this one was in America.
Oh yeah, that's British. Okay, so American embassy, in effect. Yeah. They can link you to, you know.
But I'm just saying
we can always verify.
Even wherever he got it, you can always verify from the University of Cincinnati. See? Ohio or Ohio. Okay, so Ohio University. It's not Ohio,
somebody
please.
At staff in Facebook. So details of that. Outbreak agencies need more resources to fight armyworm, according to scientists. Another story on myJoyNews.com this day. Let's move on.
Okay. Quickly. All right. So we have to look at other stories as well. This one, that's obsolete equipment impede emergency service at the Comfort and Noche Teaching Hospital. And this is draining the facility financially and also affecting health care delivery. So we have local seed industry needs more government support. True. And then we have an article by Professor Mwakutufo. Next one. Fire destroyed their home, but a Virgin Mary statue survived. Just think about it. It wasn't just wind and rain that caused damage when Hurricane Harvey blasted through the Texas coast, but fires did their share. But apparently in one of the homes, the Virgin Mary statue did not get bent. That's good. I have many testimonies of this when I was a Catholic too.
But not too long ago, it's been a while though, there was a fire incident where a Bible in the midst of it did really not bend. Did not. It survived. Okay, lots more stories on myJoyNews.com. Gang rape raped by seniors infected with HIV. SHS boy reveals worrying trend, and you can read the story also on myJoyNews.com.
You go up a little, you have Chelsea set to sign Arsenal midfielder Oxlade-Chamberlain.
His name is what? Oxlade?
Oxlade.
Where does he play his football? Before, you know.
going to Chelsea. He plays for Arsenal.
No, but
He
where?
now plays for Arsenal. He's been playing for Arsenal for a number of years now.
Oh.
I think he's an
So how come
academic. He's an academic graduate of Arsenal Football Club.
Oxlade.
Oxley Chamberlain.
Ah, that's a nice English. Is it an English name?
Yeah, it is English. It is English.
Okay.
Papa Kujo.
Okay, here's another trending issue. North Korea fires missile over Japan.
That's one.
Straight on top of Japan into the sea. Very daring North Korea there. We'll see the responses that will come out, particularly from America.
And it's not been too good. The Japanese Prime Minister has been issuing threats on the national, on the various TVs in Japan.
North Korea. All right, let's read some messages. Okay, but before that, City FM. SNIT scandal pensioners demand full account of spendings. Also on SNITs, SNIT investment strategies must change now. How SNIT lost its shares in UMB. There's also a report on that. And gun wielding land guards burned down church at Spentex. They've got the pictures there. We have a full conversation there. Latif Idris, our colleague, visited the area yesterday. So we'll talk about all of these later on in the show. Here's a message saying good morning to us. Well, good morning to you too. Hamid from Tanina says, I support every move to sack the deputy minister for that uncultured words, even though I am a full MPP member. So we're talking about a deputy minister of food and agriculture who said some words describing Northerners, but he since apologized. But you know, I mean, can't he just simply resign in the wake of this? You didn't talk right. You've apologized, but Charlie, you're public servants. BBC, Roland?
So we have
sorry again.
the Africa page of the BBC. This is what Kenya has decided to do. Plastic ban comes into force in Kenya. The ban is seen as one of the world's toughest. And I was reading the Guardian page. That's the Guardian of the UK newspaper. Their page yesterday evening. And it says is the harshest and the toughest stance that has ever been taken on plastic products worldwide, with fines of up to $40,000 or 4 years imprisonment. There's no way you can come up with $40,000 if you pollute the environment or your environment in Kenya with plastic waste. So it means that you're going to prison for 4 years. I mean, literally, that's what it means. You can come up with the 40,000, so definitely you're
$40,000.
And you know, those of us who litter around with plastic waste, we don't usually have.
What happened to our own ban on the? Because the cocoa sellers are still using the rubber. We're still using
ours. We had
the Olonka, the margarine cap rubber that was supposed to be out of the system.
This is what happened. The producers of those items came together into force. They marshaled themselves together, became a force, including the water sachet producers and all that. So, you know, we made the normal argument.
It's not as if they also don't have manufacturers in Kenya. They also have this same thing that you're describing also exists in Kenya.
So we made this normal argument with they create jobs and things. The thing is that if you create jobs with the raw material you're using, you just have to make sure you dispose it well. But we have to wrap up.
Yeah, we have to wrap up. Just 2 messages before we go. Thanks for clearly audible news, you say. Please tell Nana, President, to pay trained teachers arrears. Jan Emmanuel from Brekum sending this message. And here's another one, says, a good cheerleader is not measured by the height of her jams, but by the span of her spirits. Okay, thank you very much. That's Abdul Kwehu from Plains. That's where you're sending this message from. We've got lots of text messages, but you know the deal. We have to make way for Benedict, who's got sports, including the US Open news on that here on the show. So stay with us, definitely.